Now, where am I now? So, after doing some different rotations in my foundation years, my first 2 years of qualifying as a doctor, I now work in palliative care, and I've been doing this for 5 years. I work at an organisation called Thames Hospice, which is in Berkshire. That's me on the right with my colleague and very good friend Ollie, and then at the bottom, the team. And I'm so lucky to work with the most amazing team of different healthcare professionals. And we're all so passionate about palliative care and end of life care. And it's just such a privilege to work alongside them. And I love it so much. I'll talk to you a bit about how I split my week in just a moment, because obviously the art stuff has continued as well. So this is an example of one of the paintings that I've created over these last 5 years. This was my peony bouquet. It currently actually sits above my bed. I'm finding it a hard one to let go of. This took me about a year to paint. To give you an example, because at the time when I was painting this, I was working full time. And so it takes time, painting as and when I could. In terms of how I created this, it was really fun because I actually almost created it as if I was hand tying a floral bouquet. So I drew each individual flower, um, and then I would use tracings to sort of layer the different flowers and the foliage and kind of pull them together into the floral bouquet. So it was almost like I was flower arranging on paper. I followed this up with a second bouquet, a poppy bouquet. And I quite like to do a third, just because it's nice when things are in threes, I think. So yeah, that was something that I created. But then things changed a little bit for me. So I decided to start a master's, a master's in palliative medicine, to help me sort of progress in my career. And I knew, having had that experience at university, that I didn't want to lose touch with my creative side because I knew that that made me unhappy. So I changed my tack. Rather than painting these big illustrations, these big paintings, I decided to paint small. I took the pressure off and I said, okay, if you come home on an evening or you have an hour or two on the weekend, just sit and paint something. And so I started to paint these small illustrations. And if you follow me on social media, you might have seen some of the videos that I created of these. Anything, from this tiny, tiny little bud that might take me half an hour, to maybe something more like the pine on the right that took me a few hours. But I kind of built up these study pages and it kept me painting. And I was then thinking, well, what can I do with all these illustrations? And I'd always had this dream of having a stationery collection. And so I've worked this year on launching that. And you may or may not have seen these that I created. So this was just a super fun passion project. I really do hope that it might grow into something bigger. But yeah, right now I have these greetings cards sets, and yeah, I'm so proud of them. I love them. And yeah, it's lovely to see those illustrations. Again, it's a part of my life that I'll always remember, documented in this way.